Marichat Nation, we won. How does it feel to have finally been fed some Marichat content this season, and not just crumbs, a whole episode dedicated to Marichat? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Cartoon Hotspot, and in today's video I'll be analysing Glaciator 2.0, which is episode 15 of season 4. As you can tell, I'm super excited for this video, and I was super excited when watching the episode. It did not disappoint at all. And I feel like this was the perfect episode we got both for Love Square development and Adrien and Marinette's character growth. There was also a rain scene in this episode which I didn't expect, and of course, around here we overanalyze everything. So better believe we're going to talk about what this means and why it's so important. If you want to hear my thoughts, then don't go anywhere without giving this video a like. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on that bell button for post notifications. Without further ado, let's begin. The episode begins with Ladybug and Cat Noir facing Glaciator, who has been akumatized because Ladybug keeps denying her and Cat Noir are a couple. Apparently Ladybug and Cat Noir have won couple of the year in Paris, and this absolutely annoys Ladybug, which, to be honest, it would annoy me too, especially after denying multiple times that they are not a couple. Cat Noir doesn't help the matter either by joking about saying maybe they should kiss to regain their memory of what happened in Oblivio, and this drives Ladybug absolute nuts, who ends up throwing him into a trash can and defeating Glaciator by herself. Now this sparks so much discourse and debate, but here's my thoughts. Should Ladybug have done that? No. Was there a reason for that? Yes. Cat Noir has crossed her boundaries way too many times with his advances and over flirting. And remember that this is right after Senti Bubbler. We don't actually know how many days Senti Bubbler and this episode take place within, but I'm going to guess a little under a week. Marinette had a nightmare of Cat Blanc, so imagine winning couple of the year with Cat Noir. Certain memories are going to be unlocked, causing her to act very paranoid, and her emotions will be heightened. Again, throwing him in the trash can was wrong, but I do feel like most kids shows have exaggerated humour, like just take Tom and Jerry for instance. Anyways, Ladybug tells Cat Noir off and tells him to figure out a way to keep his feelings in check, which upsets Cat Noir. After losing a fencing competition, we see Kagami, and guys, I've missed Kagami so much. It was so refreshing seeing her again, and she played a vital role in this episode. Kagami talks to Adrien, noticing he's upset, and offers her help and support, to which he responds nobody can help him. Adrien asks his bodyguard to drop him at the park, where he cries after looking at a poster of Ladynoir. And Hawkmoth senses this negative emotion but then realizes it's coming from his son, and so de-transforms, demanding the bodyguard to drive Adrien straight home. Before he gets taken home, Marinette realizes Adrien is sad, and so she plans to cheer him up by giving him a present, though of course we know by now she's going to screw up somehow. But at least we got a cute fake Adrienette scene, so yay! Marinette notices Kagami's car, and Kagami tells her something is bothering Adrien, in which Marinette is the only one who can cheer him up and brighten his world. She urges Marinette to confess her love to him, but Marinette isn't ready, so Kagami advises her to practice her confession on someone who isn't in love with Marinette and who she isn't in love with. Back at home, Gabriel requests to speak to Adrien, asking him if everything is okay, and this scene honestly cracked me up. Like, look at Adrien's face, he's so sick and tired of Gabriel. His face is saying, can you please leave me alone like you've been doing for the past 13 years, thank you very much. It's honestly weird how inconsistently Gabriel is written. Like, one day he doesn't care for his son, the next he'd do anything to keep him from harm's way, and is actually checking up on his well-being? Wow, I'd never thought I'd live to see the day Gabriel actually checks up on his son. I guess people really do change. Psych! Anyways, Adrien transforms into Cat Noir and plans to destroy every single poster of him and Ladybug. Marinette spots him and calls him over to her balcony, asking if he could be her pretend lover, so she can practice her confession on him. Now this was the cutest scene that genuinely had me laughing. I don't know if it's just the French dub or if it genuinely was Marichat's dynamic, but Cat Noir ends up laughing at the fact she had a code name for the person Marinette is in love with, and the amount of times he interrupted her was priceless.
Cher bouton d'or, depuis notre rencontre, j'ai 3 soleils dans mon cœur, il brille si fort que dès que je t'aperçois, quoi encore?
But I want to analyze this particular scene. I've already made 2 videos on why Marichat needs to happen, but we can take this one step further. We've never seen Marinette get so frustrated in front of people, as in Marinette. She's never blown up in front of Chloe, and she's never lost her cool in front of Lila. It's more so a thing where she never wants to give her rivals the satisfaction of seeing her upset. But here she downright just yelled at Cat Noir, and I don't think Adrien has ever seen Marinette like that, which tells me she feels safe around him. She feels safe enough to show a side to her that nobody else has seen. And in this particular scene, I think Marinette forgot she's with Cat Noir as Marinette and not Ladybug. What I'm trying to say is that Marinette, regardless of which form she's in, just acts normal around Cat Noir. Cat Noir has seen the real side to Marinette and the real side to Ladybug. What I love most is the fact Marinette doesn't put Cat Noir on such a high pedestal like every other person does if they were to hang out with a superhero for the whole day. In fact, she treats him like a best friend. Anyways, Marinette feels disheartened that she'll never nail her confession after Cat Noir makes it look so easy. I guess he really does get his acting skills from his mother. They decide to go to the cinemas and just loosen up, you know? During the movies, we get a lot of character development for Marinette, so let's analyze this.
De faire une bêtise que j'ai besoin d'anticiper tout ce qui pourrait se passer. Alors, je m'invente des histoires de robes de mariée, de hamsters et ce que tout le monde voit, c'est pas Marinette qui ouvre son cœur. C'est Marinette qui dit les histoires sans queue ni tête qu'elle s'est imaginées.
Here, Marinette acknowledges her biggest flaw and opens up to Cat Noir about her struggles in confessing her love to the boy she likes. And that's not easy to do, but she does it with ease in front of Cat Noir, which again shows just how comfortable she is in letting her walls down around him, knowing that no matter what she says, he will never judge her. Marinette tells him that love isn't easy because it's not all black and white and one simple formula. There are areas of shaded grey in which not all confessions would lead to a happy ending. There's a possibility of getting rejected by the person you love, and Marinette admits she's absolutely terrified of this slight chance, so she does everything in her power to avoid that slight chance. And we've spoken about this before numerous times. She overcomplicates things knowing herself that her insane plans are going to fail. But she does them anyway because she can at least buy herself some extra time in a sense. And then what's interesting is that she says the Marinette everyone sees isn't the real her who pours her heart out, but instead what everyone does see is the Marinette who makes up crazy fantasies about weddings and hamsters. In other words, Marinette admits that she puts up a front and isn't displaying her true and authentic self, so everyone thinks she's just some crazy girl with a massive crush on a boy, but it's actually deeper than that. It's a girl struggling to face her fears, so she continues perpetuating a false narrative because she's just so used to her crazy fantasies. It's like her comfort zone, her safe place, knowing that she won't ever get rejected if she doesn't actually come out of that comfort zone. So think of it like this. You're in a no danger zone, meaning you can continue with your weird romantic scenarios that only exist in your head. It's like your protection, but as soon as you step out of that no danger zone, there's a chance you could get rejected if you confess your feelings. So Marinette chooses the safest option, but the safest option isn't always the best option for us. And I really relate to her in this case. Like, this scene was the biggest call out. It was a personal attack because a lot of us are escapists and we're never on Earth and we're always in our fantasy world that doesn't exist simply because we don't want to face the harsh reality of life, which is so me. So Marinette girl, I relate to you. I get it girl. Me too sis. Me too. Then after the movies, we cut to the rain scene. I'm sorry guys, but did you really expect my Marichat heart not to scream? We actually got an umbrella scene for Marichat. Now this is just me having fun and probably over-analyzing things, but if you watch my video on the symbolism of the rain, then you probably have an idea of where I'm going to go. If not, I've got you. Rain symbolizes sadness and despair. However, what most people fail to realize is that rain can represent cleansing, passion, and the uncovering of the truth. In Miraculous Ladybug, it's used to portray a lot of these things that I just mentioned, particularly in Adrienette's relationship. Adrienette seems to be the only ship within the love square that dominates the rain scenes. Ladynoir has moon and sunset, Marichat also have the moon, but rain is specifically meant for Adrienette, until Marichat said, yep, not today. But in short, the rain exposes their true feelings, and it's the weather they are most vulnerable in. For example, the season 1 umbrella scene, where Adrien admits to being new to friendship. He didn't have to spill that much, but he felt safe enough to be vulnerable around Marinette, someone he had literally just met. Back to Marichat though. Here Cat Noir says he's the opposite of Marinette. Unlike Marinette who avoids conversations, Cat Noir faces things head on. It's how they mirror each other. A video on that coming soon, don't worry. Cat Noir says he has to tell Ladybug how he feels. He has to always make it known. He can't bottle up his feelings. But he fears that's what's pushing her away, and he's afraid she hates him. Of course, Marinette, being Ladybug, tells him that she doesn't hate him. It's not a coincidence that this takes place under the rain and umbrella. Obviously, it's not a real umbrella, but it still counts. An umbrella represents protection and shelter, and here Marinette and Cat Noir feel most protected with each other. Andre then gets akumatized again, thinking his magical ice creams don't work. I'm not really going to go into much detail regarding the actual battle, other than the fact Ladybug establishes that her and Cat Noir are still cool, so there's no bad blood between them or anything. Then Cat Noir returns to Marinette's balcony where she rehearses her confession one last time, but instead, she decides to crumple the paper and speak from her heart.
Le jour de notre rencontre, je t'ai mal jugé. Je t'ai trouvé prétentieux et superficiel. Et j'ai appris à te connaître. J'ai vu qui tu étais vraiment, au fond de toi. Quelqu'un de doux, de sincère et de généreux.
Now this makes me think, was this confession for Adrien only, or subconsciously was it also for Cat Noir? I'm gonna go with the latter. Let's analyze it. Marinette says when she first met him, she misjudged him, but then later discovered he was sweet and gentle and that every time she tries to confess to him, her mind goes blank. Marinette misjudged Adrien, but she also misjudged Cat Noir, and this is referenced in the first Glaciator episode of season 2. The fact that she misjudged both of these boys she cares about, who technically is only one boy, stems from the fact that Adrien and Cat Noir are very different, but I'll bring this point up later on. It was a genuine confession and Cat Noir knew that. In that moment, I think Cat Noir fell for Marinette, subconsciously of course, and the two of them tell each other that the person who falls in love with them are extremely lucky.
No, I'm still sad. It didn't work.
These two teenagers stress me out so much. Like, can they just open their eyes and see what's in front of them and fall in love with each other? Please, I am begging you. Just fall in love with each other. I can't take it anymore. It's been 6 freaking years, okay? And there's no... Okay, back on topic. When Adrien returns home, he tells Plag that Marinette opened his eyes and that he needs to be his true self around Ladybug so that she can fall in love with him. Adrien confirms that he hasn't been his true self. Now, a lot of people might say, oh, so Cat Noir isn't Adrien's true self. No, that's not what this scene meant. Again, his true self is a mix of his personality as Adrien and Cat Noir. What Adrien was saying is that he hasn't been honest with who he is. And this ties back to my previous point on Marinette misjudging both Adrien and Cat Noir. Because they're so different, but neither Adrien nor Cat Noir have displayed their true and honest self. He goes over the top when trying to impress Ladybug, thinking it'd make her fall for him. And I'm glad he realizes this flaw. All he has to do is be natural, no over the top flirting, none of that. And this makes sense seeing that Haxan and Rocketeer all take place after this episode. We don't see Cat Noir flirting. He dials back on the puns. Well, that's mainly because Ladybug's been keeping him in the dark. But let's look at Haxan. Cat Noir is very honest with his feelings, probably the most serious we've ever seen him, expressing his worries and deepest fears in losing Ladybug. And Ladybug saw that and appreciated him for him. I think this episode was really great. Marinette learned a lot from Cat Noir and Adrien learned a lot from Marinette. They both taught each other some lessons and it really helped them evaluate themselves and their flaws. What's so beautiful about Marichat is that it's simply just a strong, wholesome friendship in which they can grow individually by spending time with each other. If Marinette didn't spend the whole day with Cat Noir, I doubt she'd have that self-reflection in which she admits her biggest flaw. And the same applies for Adrien. They've both been living under a false narrative that they painted themselves, but they've helped each other acknowledge what they've been doing wrong in their love lives. So at the end of the episode, we see Adrien back on his A game and he wins the fencing competition, and Kagami asks Marinette if she was able to confess her love to Adrien, to which Marinette says no. Kagami explains to her that she got this weird love advice from a manga she was reading, which is so cute, and Marinette tells Kagami that she really needs to start hanging out with her friends. I like the role Kagami played in this episode, even if it was partly comedic relief. After all, she did push Marinette into hanging out with Cat Noir the entire day, and this episode confirmed Kagami and Adrien are on good terms with each other, which is great. Overall thoughts, I really enjoyed this episode and I think it was much needed for Adrien and Marinette's character development. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give this a like, and if you're new to my channel, why not hit that subscribe button? But now I want to put it to you guys. What are your thoughts? What were your favourite moments? How would you interpret the Marichat scenes in this episode? Let me know down in the comments. As for today, that's it from me and I'll see you again next time. Bye!